My name is Laurie, and I have a simple question. Can a New York City girl move to a teeny tiny itsy bitsy little farm in Bulgaria and not just survive, but thrive? Population under 40. This video, as well as the next few that I'll be making, are extra close to my heart because of, well, my coronation, of course. But really because my mom, sister, and sister's boyfriend are finally coming to our little village. My mom and sister have been here before, but it's Johnny's first time in a small village like this, and he's coming from New York City. So he's in for a big shock, and I think it's gonna be real fun for you guys as well. Today's mission, visiting a neighboring village to scope out and harvest elderberry. Oh, and coronate Laurie. We are driving just about 5 minutes away to the upper village. Една баба, знаеш колко е сладка? Да. Тая къща, защо така ми е? Тая къща, защо ми е странна така? Welcome everybody to the upper village. I have whole videos dedicated to this village. I'll post the link above. I won't go into deep details today on the village. What I really want you guys to absorb and take in is that the population is exactly 2. And now for my coronation. Can you believe my mom made this? You look like Anne of Green Gables. Wow! Сега ще го правим. Again, I have a full video dedicated just to the grapes in our village. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever made, and I'll post the link above in case you want to take a look. But these grapes you see here are extra dear to me because my grandpa planted this. These vines grew with my grandpa, and as a lot of you guys know, he is, I have no words to say. I miss and love my grandpa dearly, and so these grapes really mean the world to me. What we make out of these grapes is wine, the darker sort, and out of the lighter sort, we tend to make rakia, which is our national drink. I think a lot of you guys know by now. And that is the background story quickly on the grapes, but I would really recommend checking out the video for full details on the different sorts and exactly what we make out of each of them. Now let's get back to searching for that elderberry.
Изведнъж нещо ми се забива зверски в петата. И извада някакво такова с един шип, така, тройно. Долу и нагоре шип. И викам, тия не си смут. Защо е това? Отидох пак до колата, на един паркинг бях спрял такъв. Гория.
О! Да му дадем ли на Джони разстройство? Тидо, да му дадем ли на Джони много сливи да получи разстройство? I promise I'm only kidding about giving Johnny too many of these prunes, or slivi in Bulgarian. We gave him just the right amount. Yeah? What do you want, blackberries? The black ones only. Bus. Elderflower. Ah, elderberry. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this gift from nature, but in case you aren't, this is very good for flu symptoms. It's also excellent for inflammation, heart health, and just about your overall immune system. I know back in the US, elderberry syrup for your cocktails was a big thing. Here, what we do is we mainly dry them and make teas out of them. But you can also make jams, jellies, juices, and pretty much anything really, as long as you don't consume them raw. Elderberry is not to be eaten raw. It actually contains poisonous compounds which can cause diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and again, even death in large quantities. So please guys, do not eat them raw. Hello! Uncle's the king of the world! So I have to admit that what we did with the elderberry was not as exciting as I would hope to share with you guys. We really just dried it and made it into a tea. But I wanted to share what we usually do with our fruits and vegetables to prepare for the winter. What you see me picking here is drian, which is also used for medicinal purposes, dogwood in English. So I'll try it and tell you exactly what it tastes like. Oh god, it is so sour. It really was so bitter and sour, you guys. It was pretty much unedible, and that's why we make medicine out of it. Some people also make jams, but we stick to medicine. I want to show you a little bit of how we preserve our fruits and vegetables for the winter. Of course, drying is an option, pretty much the easiest, but not very fun to watch. So let me show you how we make compote. This is something we absolutely cannot live without, and we make every single summer to prepare for the winter. This is what we live off really in the winter. And of course, canned tomatoes, but in our case, they will be jarred, fresh from the garden. So today we're going to be making compote in Bulgarian, out of peaches. And this is what the final result is going to be. This is from the last batch. Peaches, water, and sugar essentially. And you have for the whole winter. Първо се измиват. First you wash the peaches.
Какво ще ходиш?
4 ложечки. 4 spoons of sugar. So it's not too sweet and it's not too unsweet. Ah, so you put water right up to there, to the... You have to leave like a finger or two for the vacuuming process, for it to be able to get vacuum sealed when you put it to boil. It's really something you can make at home, honestly.
Дико, изкарай черната тендера отдолу.
I really want to pop in here and emphasize this part of the process. The sealing is probably the most important part. You want to make sure they are thoroughly sealed so that they don't explode during boiling and so that they don't rot once they're stored. If there's a little air, it's done. Voila! To this year's final dose. At least for now. I think this will do. How many do we have here? I'm not even going to start counting, but quite a few! Now it's time, I think, to just clean up. The work never ends. You see, guys, not too difficult. You really can make this at home even if you're living in a city, and I would recommend it because you know exactly what's going in your compote or your compote. Now let me show you how we jar our own tomatoes. Step 1 is again wash your tomatoes and do so thoroughly, especially if you're getting them from a store. You don't know what they've been sprayed with, so wash those tomatoes really well. Step 2, wash those jars. Now you don't have to go crazy. I think I said you have to disinfect them in a previous video. You really don't. Just rinse them off, maybe a little bit of a sponge with soap, and you're good to go. We don't sterilize. So once you've washed up your tomatoes, next step is to peel and stuff them into these jars. Whether you peel them is up to preference, but I do recommend it. I find that it works a lot better when they're peeled for cooking manjas or any dish really. When I stuff my tomatoes, and I love that squish sound. Anyway, I love to really stuff my jars because I find I can use this one jar for one manja if I want more tomatoes, or even two. As for how full the jar should be, this is a pretty good example. You don't want to overstuff them. So we're beginning the second batch, which is going to be a similar process. We're going to be peeling them just like before, except this time we're going to be grinding them in this machine right here. And these tomatoes are, like I said, a little bit of the better sort. They're sweeter. The uglier the tomato, the better. Of course, you can also grate your tomatoes. This is ideal for like pasta sauce or mangios where you want the tomatoes to be more subtle, not big pieces. This I would recommend doing alongside the whole pieces. This way you're all set for the whole winter. Uh-huh. Now all that's left to do is fill up those jars. Just remember, leave about a finger on top so that you can avoid any bursting and explosions while boiling. Next up, the sealing of the jars. Now, this is not as intense as the praskuvi or peaches that we did earlier because these are just wind-off caps. So you just tighten them as much as you can. Lele Marlene is going to finish the job off just to be sure I tighten them, of course, and you can set them to boil. Next stage is once they're fully sealed, you put them into this big pot. Cover them up with water just so. And you have to make sure you have a towel on the bottom so that they don't explode, they don't break. And you boil them for... Колко време вариш доматите? 20 minutes. Yes, I know it's a huge mess, I know, but you can only one thing at a time. And voila, the final result. We had a little explosion over there, but it's okay. Still a pretty good result for the first batch. Perfect. I think that's enough. And there you have it. Another beautiful day here on the farm, and a little bit of info on how to make your own homemade compotes, tomatoes, and whatever else you're thinking to do to prepare for the winter. Again, guys, you really can make this at home. I recommend to do so. You know exactly what you're putting inside, and it's really not difficult at all. So, as always, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And till next time, do novi srešti. Aha. Here there's some green tomatoes so you guys can see how they grow. And they're gonna ripen up. Oho, etugi! Cherry tomatoes. I'm actually gonna eat one right now. Oh, this one, this guy, this little guy. Oh my God. I wish I could share it with you guys. So you can taste this, it's so good.